Hi, my name is Shayla Draper, and I will be reading to you guys Puss in Boots, and it is a 5-minute story time. In the first story of the third son of a miller, it was also the story of a cat in boots. When the miller split his holdings among his sons, the first son was given the mill, the second son was given many fine animals, the third son was given a cat. He thought, what will I do with the cat? I'm not just a cat, I'm much more than that, said the cat. Give me the match to this red leather boot, and I will return you a mountain of loot. This took the third son of a miller by surprise. He knew very few talking cats, but with nothing to lose, he gave the cat the matching boot. Off ran Puss in Boots in search of adventure and treasure. In the short order, Puss in Boots found a burlap bag, and this is the best luck this cat has had yet. This bag will make riches quite easy to get, said Puss in Boots. Puss in Boots used the burlap bag to capture a rabbit when he then presented the king as a gift. Who provides me with this nice gift? Asked the king. The Marquis Carabas, so kind and so true, humbly and generously give this gift to you, said Puss in Boots. This impressed the king. The next day, Puss in Boots used the burlap bag to catch two partridges, which he also presented to the king. Who provides me with this nice gift? Asked the king. The Marquis Carabas, so kind and so true, humbly and generously give this gift to you, said Puss in Boots. This impressed the king as well. I must meet the Marquis Carabas, said the king. To introduce you would be my great pleasure. The Marquis is a man of fine style and great treasure, said Puss in Boots. What this king did not know was that Puss in Boots had invented the Marquis Carabas. What we do not know is why. Puss in Boots ran ahead of the king. He approached a cornfield and shouted, "The king's approaching, is near at hand. When he asks you, you must tell him who this foreign land. The Marquis Caraba is what should be said, else the king may decide to cut off your head." Later, when Puss in Boots brought the king by the field, he inquired about the owner. The king was told the Marquis Carabas own this land. Very impressive, thought the king. Once again, Puss in Boots ran ahead of the king. This time he approached an Org castle. There, in Puss Boots tricked the Org into turning himself into a mouse. This made the Org much easier to catch. Puss in Boots jumped and trapped the mouse-sized Org in his burlap bag. When Puss in Boots then ran to get the third son of the miller, he dressed him up nicely and told him what in to wait in the empty castle. As the king approached the castle, Puss in Boots stepped forward. The Marquis Caraba, so kind and true, is humbly and generously presented to you. As he said this, Puss in Boots bowed and gestured toward the third son of the miller. The king understandably assumed the third son of a miller was in fact the Marquis Caraba, a kind, generous man with fine fields and castle. Marquis Carabas, you seem a kind and generous man, and I am impressed by your fine fields and castle, said the king. You must come to my kingdom, where you will meet and marry my daughter, which is just what the third son of the miller did. When the third son of the miller met the king's daughter, his heart swooned. She was beautiful. When the third son of the miller spent time with the king's daughter, his head swooned. She was brilliant and funny and kind. He loved her. When the king's daughter discovered she loved him too, the third son of the miller asked to marry him. And the king, his daughter, the third son of a miller, and Puss in Boots lived happily ever after. The end. I would say that the book was a rhyming book. The settings of the book was the mill, the castle, the form. The text in the book was really great. The font was awesome. As you can tell, it's very spacious. The font is really big. You hardly see any white besides that. Those are clouds. Every page is colorful. I do feel like there was a great plot in the story. Although Puss lied to kind of get what he wanted at the end, his owner also got what he wanted at the end as well. So he did help someone. My daughter just stole my paper, so I'm kind of lost. Something else about the story was that looking at the title, I really didn't know what the book would be about. I also thought that since he was holding a bag, I thought that maybe he was going to like steal a lot of things, but he actually turned out to be a great cat at the end. At the beginning of the story, I didn't think that he would get far because nobody ever saw a talking cat, so that was really interesting. And I would say that this is for elementary students. I think that with all of the colorful pictures and animals and castles, kids love castles, and the story of the three little pigs and them being on a farm, that would bring up memories with that. Everybody thinks that, kings are very, powerful, so that will get your attention to see what the king has to offer. But Puss actually offered the king a lot of things. So I really enjoyed this book. This is my daughter's book. I read it to her, and that's all that I have. Thank you.